Welcome to www.happynumbers.org, and this is part 2 of exponents, and actually this should say roots. Sorry about that. Or bases. And we talked last session about having a number like this, 5 to the second power, or 5 squared, and this is the root or the base. And this is the exponent. And this expression, 5 squared, or 5 to the second power, as we learned, does not mean 5 times 2, but it means 5 2 times. 5 times 5, or 25. And we also learned that you could have a number like 11 to the first power, and that's equal to 11. Or we could have 14 to the 0 power, and we learned that that equals 1. So we're going to evaluate some of these expressions today and work with some others. So let's take an expression like 10 to the negative third power. Well, 10 to the negative third power is equal to, oh, my bad, negative 10 to the third power. Negative 10 to the third power is equal to negative 10 times negative 10, and in fact I think we did this one as an example. And we know a negative times a negative is a positive, and a positive times a negative is a negative, so we know our answer is going to be negative. And 10 times 10 is 100. Looks like a smiley face. And 100 times 10 is 1,000. So that's fairly simple, straightforward types of problems. Let's take some problems like this. 8 to the second power minus 3 to the second power. Well, in this kind of a problem, what we want to do is we want to expand the problem, write it out. So we know 8 to the second power is 8 times 8. And so it's that expression minus 3 to the second power, or 3 squared, would be 3 times 3. Well, 8 times 8 is 64, minus 3 times 3 is 9. And if we take 64, if we take 9 away from 64, we get 55. So again, the skill set here is to break each expression down into its parts. 8 to the second power, or 8 squared, is 8 times 8. 3 to the second power, or 3 squared, is 3 times 3. Then to do the operation, and then put it together. So I'll give you some problems here. And, well, no, let me do just one more for you. Let's take 9 to the first minus 3 to the second plus 4 to the third. Well, we know when we have a power to the first power, when we have a root or a base to the first power, it's just that number. So we have 9 minus 3 squared, or 3 to the second power, is 3 times 3, plus 4 cubed, or 4 to the third power, 4 times 4 times 4. Well, let's expand. 9 minus 3 times 3 is 9, plus 4 times 4 is 16, and 16 times 4, I believe, is 64. So now we have 9 minus 9, well, that goes away, and we have 64 as our answer. Well, okay, so I'm going to put some problems up for you and let you work them. And then you can put the DVD on pause. You can work them and then we'll go over them. So let's have 7 squared plus 3 to the third power minus 4 to the first power. That's the first one. And let's do this one. Negative 4 to the third power minus negative 3 to the third power plus 2 to the fourth power. All right, so put the DVD on pause, work those problems, and then turn it back on again, and then we'll see how you did. All right, let's take a look at this. 7 to the second power is 7 times 7, 7 squared, 7 times 7, plus 3 to the third power is 3 times 3 times 3, minus 4 to the first power. Well, we know 4 to the first power is just 4. So I'm going to carry the problem out over here. 7 times 7 is 49, plus 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27, minus 4. Well, now let's combine 49 and 27. 49 and 27. 9 and 7 is 16, carry the 1. 1 and 4 is 5, and 2 is 76. And then minus 4, 72, and that's our answer. Okay, let's try the next one. In fact, I'm going to erase this to give us some room to work. Okay, negative 4 to the third power, I'll do it up here, is negative 4 times negative 4 times negative 4. That's negative 4 cubed, minus negative 3 to the third power. That's negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3, plus 2 to the fourth power. That's 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Okay. Well, let's do this piece here. We have a negative times a negative, which will give us a positive, and then we have a positive times a negative, so our answer we know is going to be negative. 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 4 is 64. So we have 64 minus, now we have a negative times a negative is a positive. And a positive times a negative is a negative, so we know our answer is going to be a negative here. And now let's do the numbers. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. And here, plus 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16. So, I'm going to carry our problem down here. We have a negative 64 minus a negative 27. Let's do that part of the problem first. Well, I am subtracting sign numbers, so I add the opposite. So I make this positive and I make this positive. And now I take the smaller number from the larger number, so I'm going to take 27 away from this. So I have to borrow, make that a 5. That becomes a 14. This is a 7, by the way. 14 take away 7 is 7. 5 take away that. 2 is 3. So when I do this piece right here, negative 64 minus negative 27, I get a negative 37. Sorry to be so sloppy here. what I did here is this became this became this became this. Then when I did this part, when I put negative 64 minus negative 27, we actually came out with a negative 37. So now we have a negative 37 plus 16. So I need to take 16 away from this. Gives me 1, 21, and I use the sign of the larger. So the answer is negative 21. Pretty involved problem, and again, I really apologize for mixing it up. I hope I didn't confuse you. Maybe well, I'll do another problem, and I'll try and do it more systematically, so I'm not all over the place with yucky stuff like that. Let's see if we have one here. Let's take this. 4 to the third power minus 3 squared plus 5 to the 0 power. Well, 4 to the third power we know is 4 times 4 times 4 minus 3 squared we know is 3 times 3, and 5 to the 0 power, we know that as just 1. Any number to the 0 power is just 1. So let's do this. 4 times 4 is 16, times 4 is 64, minus 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1. Oh, as my time is up, I'm glad okay, so let's finish this. So 64, and we're going to take 9 away from 64, that'll give us 55, plus 1 will give us 56. And that's our answer. Well, okay, I think that should do it for exponents now. So we'll move on now. Thank you very much. See you next time.